Hello and welcome to Stampin' Around the World video hop with Sharon Dalton. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Central Queensland. So today I'm hopping with the girls at Stampin' Around the World. So I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to do a anniversary card. So yeah, I'll just move that out of the road. And I'm going to use this set here, Lifetime of Love. This one, the Lifetime of Love stamp. Then I'm going to use the dies, this circular die here and this roses die here. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to also show you how to watercolor an embossed image. So it's going to be similar to this, but not completely the same. So let's get into the process. And the card that I'm making is a bit of a fancy fold. This is one that I've already made the template for. So I will show you how to cut that. So thank you once again for joining us. You may have followed Heather to my hop here today. So this is the beautiful paper we're using, and it is I had it all uncovered, Frames and Flowers 12 by 12 DSP. So I've already cut my piece 12 inches by 5.5 by 5.5. So 12 by 5.5. And then we're going to do some scoring, which I've already done on this piece. So we're going to score at 1 3/4 inches. I'm going to fold that one that way. Now be very careful when you're scoring your DSP, because it doesn't really like being scored. And then 3.5, and then 7 3/4. Okay, now you may have to trim just a little tiny bit off the end of this so that it sits in there nice and flush. And I mean just a little tiny bit, so maybe 1/16 of an inch, so that it all sits in there nicely. So I'll just give those a bone fold now. So this is a great way of using up DSP, because we all like hoarding it, but we should actually use it. So this way you get to see both sides of the DSP. Okay, so that's what our card looks like. Now, I have already cut my layers. My layers are, you need two 2 by 4 1/8. No, yes, 4 1/8 by 5.5. So you need 2 of those. So you need 1 for the back here to give it some stability, and then 1 for the middle, which I've already gutted because I don't like to waste that. Then my next piece is Petal Pink, and it's 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's going to go in the middle. So like I said, you may have to cut that down a little bit, but looking pretty good so far. So that's the basis of our card. So we'll quickly glue those bits in place. And I always use my whoops, see why I use my silicone mat, so I don't get glue all over my glass mat, which I just did. Oh dear. Anyways, I'll quickly wipe that up. So you're going to stick this 4 1/8 panel by 5.5 on this back panel. And that just gives the card some strength. That might just be a little bit too big there, but no, it looks pretty good. And then we're going to go ahead and put this one in the middle. Now, if you don't want to gut your cards, that's okay, but I use all those bits on other projects that I'm doing. So again, just giving it some strength. Okay, folding that one over, making sure that it's still able to fold. And then we're going to pop this one in the middle. But before we pop this one in the middle, I'm going to write some words on it. Stamp some words, I should say. Okay, so we need, I'm using Pretty Peacock, so we need Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to use Forever and Always. Now, this set of papers also has some some die cut elements to it. So you could use those as well if you wanted to. We're keeping it very simple today. Okay, so that's just going to go in there now. So I'll bring back in this one. Now you could have, of course, used the same element that I'm going to use on the little front panel. You could have stamped that in the inside here if you wanted to, but I'm just going to keep it plain Jane. Okay, so that is the basis of our card. So getting on to the front panel now, we're going to use a bit of Petal Pink again. Oh, hop out the road, mate. About that much, I think. And then by about 5 inches. So I think I did 4 inches by 5. 4 by 5 for that one. So what I'm going to do with that is, and you wouldn't believe it, but I forgot to bring my circle dies here to cut them out. Got that one. Let's go with one of these guys. So that's the Spotlight in Nature. Going to use, I think that one should be big enough. Let me just bring this other one in that I've already pre-cut. I want to make sure that my frame is going to fit inside that. Yeah, that should do me. So let's bring that in. Okay. This was the only one I forgot to do. There we go. Let's bring that in and die cut that now. And because this one will have a million little pieces to punch out, that'll take me a little bit of time, but we'll see how we go. I'll flick it out. Look at that, beautiful. Probably should have done 2 of those. I'll see in a minute whether I need a second one. Okay, so then this one is going to sit over the front of here. Okay, I've already done one, but I want to show you how I created this, how I coloured that in. Okay, so let's just pop that to the side for the minute. And here is the said one that I did before. I'm going to poke it out. It's a little bit tricky, this one. It's a bit thin, but it's okay. I'm not going to show you how to do the whole thing because I've already done one, but just pulling that bit out finely. It's very gentle. Leave that back out of our road. If you put it back in where you got it out of, it's easier for you to colour. Okay? And then pop the middle bit back in as well. It just kind of holds it all in place. So what I did to colour this one here, which is a little bit out of shape at the moment, is I used some Pretty Peacock, some Lost Lagoon blends. And I just went around, I'll use the brush tip end. I just went around and, you know, just put some colour randomly on it. And you see why I've said leave it in the frame, because it does make it so much easier to colour. All right, so you put a bit of that colour in, that's the dark. Now I'm going to come in with the light and just put bits and pieces over it, because you don't want to colour the whole thing. Looks a bit messy, but once you come in with the rest of the colours, and then now I'm going to bring in my light Pretty Peacock, and again using the brush tip, I'm just going to colour that bit and that bit, just filling in some gaps, just so that we've got a bit of variation. Got a bit of a croak today. I haven't been that well lately. I don't know, there's something going on with my body. And then now with the dark, just come in and just give it some dark bits. Colour it in. Oops. And then I'm going to come back in with my Lost Lagoon light in the brush tip one and go over the whole lot, just so I've got that bit of variation. Oops. Missed a couple there, I saw, but I'll come back with the other colours. Okay, so you've got it all coloured in now. So now I'm going to come back with my light Pretty Peacock. And again, just, you know, randomly add some colour in places. And it'll be different every time you do it, because you may have put colour where you didn't put colour last time, which I've noticed with this one. Okay, and then I'm just going to go back over it with the dark over the whole lot now. And so it'll all just kind of blend in this time. But you just get that variation in the leaves. There we go. And let me just pull that out. Oh, I've missed one bit completely in there. But as you can see, you get a variation in colours. So I'll just colour that bit in that I just noticed I've missed there. Okay, so let's have a look here. Now, what I'm going to do is bring that, what is it called? Spotlight on Nature circle. And I'm going to put, actually I might put this one because it looks a bit not as coloured in onto that one. Okay, so I'll just stick both of those down. Now what I do to make sure that I don't put glue past where I need to put it, I just flip it over. And just make sure that it looks about even top, bottom and sides. And then I only put the glue where I need it. Try not to put it out there on that side because otherwise you might end up with glue where you don't want it. About there, I reckon. So then just flip it over to make sure that you haven't got any glue, which I do there, but I will put one on the back of that. Okay, so that's stuck down. Now this one, just bring back in that silicone mat and just put some very light dabs of glue on these little leaves, because you don't want to put too much glue on it. Just a little bit here and there. And in those a bit thicker areas. Right, I have to stand up to do this one. Yeah, I definitely don't want it that way. There we go. So that's our wreath looking part, which is looking quite nice. I'll sit back down again now. Now, I have already, on my piece of watercolour paper, I've already stamped my stamped image, and I've heat set it with white embossing powder. Okay, so all you do to do that, so I'm just going to move that up. Use a bit of Versamark ink. Now make sure it's really well inked up. Okay, put that on the road and hold that onto your watercolour paper. Hold it there for a good few minutes. And lift it up. Now we're going to put, I would have normally used my embossing buddy, but I forgot. It's here, but I forgot. So now you're just going to sprinkle your white embossing powder over it. And then you're going to shake off the excess. There we go. Just move that to the side and pop that there for a minute until I get this embossing powder out of the road. And then with the magic of the heat, we'll heat set it. Now I'll try and hold it up to the camera. Just get your heat tool warmed up first before you start heating. And I'll hold it up to the camera and you will see it change from flat to shiny. See how it's starting to change now? The magic of embossing, which I love, 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 love. Okay, so you can see that that's nicely embossed now. I've already pre-cut one out, so we won't worry about die cutting that. So here is our cut out one. Now, I did bring in some coloured pencils. These were some from a pack that we had a while ago, but I thought we don't have a petal pink, so I thought I will see what we've got here. I think that's Calypso Coral. I'm not quite sure what that one is. So let's go with Calypso Coral because we don't have petal pink. And we're just going to put some colour in here. Now, if you need the stamp to have a look at to see where you're colouring the flowers, just pop it there to move out of the road. Okay, just so you know where you're adding colour to. And the reason I used watercolour paper is because I want to add some water to this and get some depth in those flowers. Just making sure I'm not going outside into those leaves. Okay, and then this one here. Now you're going to use a aqua painter for this, or a water brush. So those bits are actual leaves, petals there, which I didn't realise that they were. And up into there. Okay, and then over here we've got more flower as well. Now how far down in there? You go right down into there. Okay, so let's bring those water brushes in now. We have got 3 different water painters. We've got a really, really skinny one. We've got a bit thicker one and a really, really wide one. We're not going to use the really wide one. We're just going to use the skinny one and the next size one. So just give it a little bit of water and then mix that in. And this will just give you your colour in there on your flower. And you can come back and add more watercolour pencil as it dries. But I will just show you this quickly and then I'll come back later and give it some more if I feel like it needs it. So that's our flowers done, and then our leaves I'm going to use Old Olive for that because I don't know what other colours are in this. Oh, garden green's in that, so I might pull the garden green one out. And granny apple, garden green and granny apple. Look at that. We do have some matching colours. Shaded spruce, pretty peacock, soft sea foam. I did bring my soft sea foam pencil blend in, but I didn't use it. So let's get that out of the road. As always, Sharon ends up with a big mess. Okay, so let's have some greenery on here. I'll put darker green in the middle, and then I'll put lighter green on the outside. So as you can see, I'm not really taking a great deal of fuss. I just want to put some colour on this. And it probably would have been easier if I hadn't die cut it, because I would have had a bit more to hang on to. There we go. So let's grab that bigger brush now, because actually, I think it's going to be too big. I'll go back in with this one. And just watercolour those in now. I just love watercolouring. I might grab that Old Olive because it's looking pretty green. So let's give that a bit of a heat. And the beauty of this glass mat is that we can heat. Oh, now I've just put green on that. We can heat directly onto our mat. And because it's heat resistant, we won't crack our mat. There we go. I'll do. I'll bring that Old Olive in, which I knew I got out. No, that was the garden green. Thought I got the Old Olive out, girls. There it is. Just to put it back in. I'll just give it a little bit of Old Olive as well, just so it's not quite as dark in there. As bright, I mean, not as dark. And then I might even do some around the edges. Right, where's that water brush again? Water painter. And then just come in again and add those, colour those through. Just to tone it down a little bit, just so it's not quite as bright. There we go. And while we've still got this here, I'm just going to make a few darker spots in here. And on here, here. And in there. I don't need to watercolour those in. So now what I want to do is I want to stick this to my card. Let's get those pencils out of the road. What you can do as well is use some of the white to highlight this once it's dry, but I'll do that after it's finished. Okay, let's stick that onto there. Now, because it is watercolored, I think I'll put some super duper tape on this to hold it in place. I did get a bit of green ink on that petal. I'm just going to give that another bone fold because it's not sitting as nicely as I'd like it to sit. There we go. And now, what other sentiment do we have in this stamp? Congratulations on your wedding day. Well, I just might do the congratulations, I think. So, I should have stamped this before, but let's see how we go. We need a block. Might just put another little piece in there just so that it's about the same height. There we go. Now I want Pretty Peacock again. Now to not get any of these other words, I'm going to use some Post-it note. Now, the only thing I'm probably going to miss is the other bit of my G, but we can draw that on. And then I might just try to put ink there because I can clean that other bit off. Righto, let's clean that off with my chamois. And then we are finished. Need some bling, which I'm going to use the Cherry Cobbler and Pearl what are they called? These ones here I thought I might use because they look a bit petal pinkish. Put that ink away. Okay. Wish me luck, girls. I need to stand up again. There we go. Congratulations. That's pretty straight. So I'm just going to use a couple of these little guys. I never quite know where to put them. There we go. Might move that one. There we go. And there is our card finished. Let me open it and open it. Thank you very much. Bye for now. Make sure to follow along with the rest of the hop. Okay, thank you.